What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Vonnie coming back at y'all with another YouTube video. So, in today's video, I want to talk about taking a risk. What does it take to take a risk? Is it scary? I'm going to tell y'all about it in this video. Before we hop into that, man, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We going up this year, man. I'm having a lot of fun doing these videos. I appreciate all the love and support that y'all been giving me. But, let's get straight into it. Taking a risk in life. Every millionaire, billionaire, even if you're making six figures, you took a risk. You took a risk and it's working out for you, and, you know, not everybody's going to take that risk. Not everybody's going to be that type of person to be like, I'm going to go chase my dreams. They're going to settle for less, and, you know, at the end of the day, it's your life. So you live your life how you want to live it. But me personally, I can't imagine that. I can't imagine not trying different things, you know, not trying to make stuff work. And a lot of people like to say, oh, you're chasing money, you're chasing... No, I'm chasing the freedom. The freedom that money brings. Like, who wouldn't want to go on vacation more than once a year? Who wouldn't want to go on vacation more than once a year? Who wouldn't want to go to the store and you don't have to look at your bank account to see if you have enough to budget, you know? I mean, at the end of the day, you know, the money can't come with you when you pass. So why not make as much as you can when you're here on Earth so you can enjoy most of your life? You feel me? That's why I'm a working man right now, because I'm just like, what if I can enjoy my 30s and my 40s because I made enough sacrifice and risk and took a risk when I was 20, you know, 20 to 30 years old. What if that's how I live, you know? I just feel like it's a perspective thing, you know? Like, if I start working hard, going hard when I'm 18, following my dreams, doing all that stuff, by the time I'm 30, I'm going to live the rest of my adult life not worrying about finances. And that's my main point about it. So, a lot of people stay stuck between their fear of failure. You know, and when it comes to failure, you got to let your desire overtop that, you know? You got to, man, your desire for success should just be like, oh yeah, I'm not even scared to fail. Because you're going to. You will. There's no way, there's no person on this earth that didn't fail when they first began. And even still, people are failing. You're going to fail when you're a millionaire. You're going to try stuff and this is going to, oh man, I shouldn't have did that. You know, and a lot of people like to say, well, I'm going to just play it safe. I'm going to just play it cool, not do too much. You're going to regret it. You will regret it later in life. Probably not in the moment. You're like, oh yeah, this is good. This is cool. But later in life, you will. Because every successful person has taken that uncomfortable risk. And it really is uncomfortable. Because it's new. Why would it be comfortable? It's a new thing. You're creating growth, you know, that you've never experienced. Once you start taking that risk, you're getting confidence. You're bringing in new opportunities. You know, you don't need certain stuff to start. You just have to be courageous. Like, I know me as a content creator, the mistake I made was I got a lot of like cameras. You know, I got a PC. All you need is a phone. If you want to create content, you just need a phone. You can edit on your phone. You can make the video on your phone. You can make a thumbnail on your phone. You can do everything on your phone. You don't need, like, I got a MacBook right here. You don't need that. I got 2 monitors right here. You don't need those. I got a PC right here. You don't need none of that. You just need a phone and to get on your grind, to be courageous. You know, fear is usually a sign that something matters. If you're having fear, it usually matters to you. That means that's a good thing. You don't want to fail. So in my head it is, if I keep trying, you know, one day I'm just going to hit. It's going to hit. It's going to snap like that. And it's going to be like, wow, I came a long way. And the more you fail, the better it's going to be when you finally succeed, when you finally break through. Because at the end of the day, staying comfortable can cost you more than anything. It can cost you the most in your life. You don't want to stay comfortable, because the longer you wait, the harder it's going to be to change your life. I'm not saying you can't change your life mid 30s, early 40s, mid 40s, even in your 50s. You can still change your life at any point. But if you're going to do it anyways, if you have intentions on being financially free or doing something in life, not working that 9 to 5 until you're 67 years old, why not do it when you're young? Why not? I'm 23. That's all I want to do is financially succeed. I have visions of me taking care of my family. I have visions of that. I dream about it, and I can't wait. I can't wait for the day. So I know if you're 30, 35, 40, and you already got a family, you're trying to figure stuff out, take that risk. Yes, it's going to take a few years. It might take a few years. I'm not even going to say it is. It might take a few years. It could take, half a year. Your life can change within 3 months if you make the right decisions. 3 months from today, you could be sitting in a totally different realm. But you have to start today. You feel me? Because the longer you wait, like I said, the longer you wait, the more harder it's going to be to change your life. Small risks repeatedly constantly lead to massive results. So if you're keep taking that small risk, you start that little business, you start the content, you start, this is even a risk. You start going to work for 80 hours a week, 70 to 80 hours a week. That's a risk because you're missing out on time. You're trading your time for money, but you have more money. So you have more capital to work with. You can invest that, or, you can save that. Anything works as long as, that's not really a small risk, but it is a risk. And that's something you can do. Start working 60, 70, 80 hours a week and just see how you feel. And then look at your paychecks and be like, okay, yeah, this is worth it. Something like that. That's a small risk. But starting that business, starting off with 5 pieces of clothing, and then you sell those 5, and then, you're going to work while you're selling those, and then you keep building on top of that. You eventually order 20 pairs of clothes, you sell all 20 of those, you keep going to work, keep going to your 9 to 5, and then before you know it, man, you're selling 1,000 pieces a day, and you're making a lot of money. It's those small little things. You start small and you just expand. You get bigger. And like I said, your future depends on decisions that most people are too scared to make. Most people are just too scared to even start. So if you start, you're already better than 90% of people. If you keep going, you're better than 95% of people. If you fail, you keep going, you're better than 98% of people. If you fail and keep going and keep going and keep going and keep failing and keep going and keep failing, you're better than 99% of the people. And then once you succeed, you're better than 99.9% of everybody. You feel me? Because you took that risk, and there's more people in poverty than there is millionaires. There's more people in the middle class than there is millionaires. You feel me? So it's all about taking that risk, because I couldn't imagine 10 years from now me looking back and just being like, why didn't you start content? That's what you really wanted to do. Why didn't you start that clothing store that you really wanted to do? That's what you wanted to do. Why didn't you do that? Like, the life that I want is sitting right in front of me. I know what I got to do. I know I got to hustle. Like I'm the type, I'll go out and work 60, 70 hours in a week because I know that I'm bringing in more money. Yes, I'm trading my time for money, but at the end of the day, I'm making more money in that time period. You feel me? Think about it like that. Think about the time period and not the time that you're working. You feel me? Because, 2 weeks go by, you work 70 hours each week. That's 140 hours. At my rate, bringing in at least $2,500. And that's $5,000 a month. That's not that much, but it's just like, that's more than if I went to work and only 40 hours a week, and I made 80 in that period. I only did 80 hours in that period. That would only be like $1,500. So I just added $1,000 onto what I could save, onto what I could do, what I can make with. It's little stuff like that, because most people don't fail because they're tired. If you get started, I promise you, you get started, you build momentum, it's gonna roll. It's gonna snowball. It's gonna snowball. But you either stay comfortable or you become successful. You can't have both. You can't. I've been so uncomfortable recently, and it's because, you know, every time I take a break or every time I think about taking a break, it rewires my brain. I'm just like, no, you can't. You got to go do this. You got to go do that. And I have to. I can't just sit back and relax, you know, because I got a big success story to talk about when I'm in my mid 40s, you know. I got a story to tell when I'm 50 years old to my grandchildren, like, yeah, I started this, I did this. And, you know, I want to teach that to people. So it's really all about getting started. Once you get started, you're going to fail. You took a risk, though. Get back up on that horse and keep riding. Because you're gonna fail. That's all I got for this video, man. I just wanted to come on here and say thank y'all for all the love and support. If y'all made it to the end of the video, like, comment, subscribe. And I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.